I'm gonna spend the next couple minutes telling you what credit is and how to use it in under 6 minutes. So let's get to the big stuff. We hear a lot about credit score. A credit score is very simple. It's a number that's assigned to you that shows your ability to repay debt. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. We're not gonna get into the details of how that works, but understanding that will help you understand the rest that we're talking about. The second part is credit itself. What credit is just a bank or an institution lending you money that you're gonna need to repay. Very simple, very easy. Now here's the thing. Everything you know about credit is probably wrong because you hear the polar opposite sides of the story. You hear about the don't use credit, it's the devil. You know, you got your auntie who went into credit card debt and she said, never touch it, it's horrible. Then you got the other side who's like, oh, you can't do anything without credit. Credit is the most important thing and you gotta use it for everything or else you'll never get anywhere. It's guardrail to guardrail. And the reality is, it's not that extreme. Credit is a tool that allows you to do the things that you need to do. And then when used correctly, you can start to get more benefits out of it. And we're gonna talk about that. So let's get into credit itself. So two main types of credit cards that you'll hear about. You hear about charge cards and revolving cards. The biggest difference is a charge card, very simple. You use the card, you're required, and I'm gonna say it again, required to pay back everything, every penny by the end of the month. So every penny you spend, you gotta pay it back by the end of the month. A revolving card, a little bit different. That card, you're able to keep a balance and let it go month over month, paying it back slowly over time. Now, each card has a benefit, each card has a disadvantage. Obviously for the charge card, as you use it, you pay it back, you're done. The beauty is they don't charge any interest on that. So as long as you're paying it back in full by the end of the month, it almost acts like a short-term loan. Like you could just use it, and at the end of the month, pay it all back, you got what you need done. The revolving cards, that's gonna be a little bit different because if you pay it off at the end of the month, cool, no harm, no foul. You don't pay any interest. But the second that balance or any balance rolls over to the next month, that's when you start getting into that interest thing that you hear people talking about. That's where the bank is gonna say, because this has rolled over into the next month, we're gonna charge you a percentage for letting that carry over. But that's not the main point of this video. I wanna really start to talk to you guys about the basics on how to use a credit card. And I have a simple 4-month strategy to get you to start using credit cards for your normal everyday purchases so that you can start to implement it into your daily financial journey. And then we could talk about how you get fancy and fly around the world on credit card points. We'll get there. But to get us started, what you're gonna do is you're gonna apply for a credit card, get approved, you get the card in the mail. When you get the card in the mail, zero balance. Here's the key. 1, if the card sits in your drawer all day, it doesn't help you. 2, if you end up running up the card to the limit, it doesn't help you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a plan and I'm gonna start to show you how to do it. So first month, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna replace the credit card for your debit card. So what do I mean by that? Every purchase that you make, you're gonna use the credit card, but the goal is to pay it off immediately. So you walk into Walgreens, you go buy that candy bar, you swipe the credit card at the register. While you're still standing at the register, you're going to go into your mobile app and you are going to pay the credit card the exact amount that you just purchased. So by the end of that transaction, your card still shows zero balance. So you're gonna do that, and you're gonna do that for every single purchase that you do for the day. So then when you go to the Chipotle and you go and you buy your food, you're gonna swipe the credit card at the register, you're gonna pay it right back immediately. And you're gonna do this for about 2 to 3 weeks, right? Because what you wanna do is start to get into the habit of swiping the credit card but you're going to be paying it back immediately so that no balances are revolving on the card. Then you're going to graduate to step 2. Step 2 is going to be using the card for the day. So you're going to get into the habit of swiping the card now for all of your purchases throughout the day. And at the end of the day, you're going to go into your mobile app and you're going to pay the card in full, like every single penny. So again, by the end of the day, your balance on the card, 0. You're going to do this again for about another 2 to 3 weeks. So you can just get into the habit of using the card for the day, paying it back in full. Then we're going to graduate to stage 3. Stage 3 is you're going to use the card for a week. Now this is where the challenge starts, right? So you're going to use the card for your breakfast, your lunch, your gas, everything you can for that week. And then at the end of the week, you're going to go in and pay off the entire card in full. And you're going to do this for about 2 to 3 weeks. So you see the pattern here. This is the same thing, but what it's doing is it's now just lengthening the time that you're letting the transactions build up and then paying it back. The goal is by the 4th stage or the 4th round, you can then use the card for an entire month for your day-to-day purchases and pay it back in full. Here's the key about that. 1, you will not be charged any additional interest on the balances that you're using. So you won't end up spending $500 and paying back $600, right? You're gonna be paying back what you used. But it got you now in the habit of your everyday purchases being put on credit so that you can start building the routine of using credit in your day-to-day, but in a healthy way, right? The biggest thing that happens and the biggest mistake that we see financially is when people use credit cards to supplement income, not using it to make their payments and paying it back. So they say, I got 500, but I want to spend 1,000, so I try to use the credit card to spend more. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to use the credit card for our daily expenses so that it's a tool that we use throughout the day. So that's what I got for y'all. And we're gonna build on that, we're gonna expound on it, but I wanna just give you some fundamental principles that you could go in, you could start using and put into things today. I think we got some people with some questions that I wanna make sure I can address. So
yes, Sheldon, we do.
What we got?
yeah, people online asking just a few. We'll do about 4 of them. That cool?
Cool, that'll work.
Right, the first one, they're asking, do I use a credit card for rent?
Do I use credit card for rent? So the short answer is gonna be no, right? Here's a couple reasons why. If it's a first credit card or early in your credit journey, 1, your rent is probably gonna be too high for your credit limit. That's just the reality. But 2, typically, most institutions that you're gonna be paying the rent are going to charge you a fee for using a credit card. And what ends up happening is if you use the credit card to pay the rent, the fee is gonna be too much to make it make sense. You'll end up paying more money to just use that card than to just pay it through your checking account, and you don't wanna do that. The goal of credit is not to spend more money. It's supposed to help you save money or make money. So, great question.
Cool. The next one was, should I care about the points that come from the credit card companies?
Yes. The short answer is yes. Points, cash back, all those rewards are amazing when you're using credit cards. The key is earning them the right way. So yes, having the right points and the right card is important, but I think more importantly is understanding how to use the credit cards first, then finding a card that's gonna align to the things that you wanna do. And I'll just give you real quick. Some people love to travel, so they use a credit card that gives them a lot of travel perks, so that the more they use that card for their everyday purchases, kind of like we talked about, they earn more points that lets them travel more, right? So it's just understanding what you're trying to do, but that's a deeper video, more content later on down the road.
All right. Then this question comes from all the way in North Dakota.
They're
asking, should I get more than one credit card?
The short answer, yes. Initially, no, right? Before I can use 8 credit cards, I gotta learn how to use 1. right? So I always tell people start with one card and use the technique that we shared in the video to start building the right habits in using credit and using credit cards. Once you have the right habits established, then you could look into using multiple cards for multiple different purposes. But to start, I always say one card and learn how to use it the right way, build the right habits, and then you can expand. And we could do another video on that another day. So great question.
This one's from New York, East Coast, baby.
Oh, that's my hometown. Holla.
What if my credit score is already shot? What kind of credit card could I get?
Great question. So we've been there, right? Where we've made some mistakes when it comes to credit, and now we're trying to get back on the journey so I can start using it again. There's a couple different options that you can do, but the most common option that people use is what's called a secured credit card. And what a secured credit card is the short story. The bank says, we can't just lend you this money, but if you're able to give us some cash, we can establish a line of credit for you and use that cash you gave us as security to pay it back. So give you an example. They'll say, hey, we need a $500 deposit. You will give the bank $500. They'll put that into a special account. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You don't know it exists. They'll extend to you a credit card for $500, right? So now you have this credit card that you can use for your day-to-day purchases, just like we talked about, with a $500 limit, and it's getting reported to the credit bureau every single month. So it's starting to help you reestablish that credit, that ability to repay debt over time, and then start to strengthen your credit again. Good news is, for a lot of these cards, they'll evaluate it every 6 to 12 months, and if you show positive history, they'll send back your $500. You put that back in your pocket, but you can keep the card and continue to build your credit. So great question. Well, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. As always, like, subscribe, share. We appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Holla at me.